So let's get started. I want to ask you about what it's been like without Tom around. How you guys have kind of been adjusting to that and adjusting to this whole world of trying to cope through all these changes that has kind of happened these last week or so here.
It's been very hard a little bit. I mean, just due to the fact that Coach is not here, because he's our coach and he's the main guy that's always in practice, always getting us hype. So it's our job to really pick ourselves up and the other coaches to pick us up too. So it's been a little bit challenging, but I feel like we're pushing through very good.
And have you been pretty healthy through all this? And can you believe that you guys got a game probably here in less than a week?
Yeah, I've been very healthy. I haven't got the COVID not one time yet, so that's a blessing. Yeah, and we're coming up on a game, which is kind of crazy because due to the COVID and due to everything that's going on in the world, for us to play it's going to be crazy. That's crazy to me.
We'll go to Kyle Austin from M Live.
There we go. Hey, Gabe, just wondering how you guys have adjusted to all these protocols. You know, you're wearing the mask, you're doing the testing, you're doing all the other sorts of stuff you have to do. How much of an adjustment has that been, and how much have you kind of gotten used to it, would you say?
It's been kind of a big adjustment because every day you find out something new about the COVID. So every day they tell us, wear your mask, make sure you put it on, make sure you don't go nowhere without your mask. And sometimes it gets irritating having the mask on, but then again, it's just for our safety and for us to believe and trust in what they're saying. So we do it. We follow by their rules and follow by the code that they are giving us, and everything else will just work out for the best.
Next question is from Audrey Dahlgren from WLNS.
Hi, Gabe. I just wanted to ask you about Coach Stevens and maybe Coach Fife and everybody else. What kind of wrinkles are they putting into practice, maybe in their own type of way without Coach Izzo there?
Not really. They're not really putting any wrinkles. They just pushing us as hard as ever this time. I mean, they want us to go as hard. They want us to go in there and work hard and show that without him there, that we still work hard, we still push through everything. So they're not really putting in any wrinkles. They're being themselves, coaching us, and just being the great coaches that they are.
And Coach Izzo was mentioning to us when we first were able to talk to him when practices started, that he's looking to you as one of the guys to be, have a bigger role on the team this year in a leadership position as well. So how, especially now with COVID, have you taken on that role, and what have you done differently from last year?
Yes, I have taken on that role. I mean, what I say I have done differently than last year, I feel like I matured a lot. I mean, with this COVID hitting, it gave me time to think, it gave me time to realize what I need to work on during the off season and during the season that just hit, how to get my teammates involved, how to talk to my teammates, how to do things in a certain manner to get my teammates to rise above what they're playing at. So he's been on me heavy about that. We had a lot of meetings, a lot of talks, and I feel like it's coming along very well for me.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
We'll go to Jason Lewis next.
Hey, Gabe. Everybody that we've talked to, including Coach Izzo, has really raved about the improvement that you made this year. What have you seen the most from your game that you've taken a big step from last year into this year?
I would say consistency. Consistency is the one thing that I have taken the most in, and it's just been very, very tough for me because the following years I wasn't consistent. I wasn't going my hardest. I wasn't doing things like that. So for him to say I'm getting consistent and I'm getting consistent with my jump shot, coming in every day and working hard, this is one of the things I really tried to improve during this offseason.
One of the biggest things that I took away from what Coach Izzo was saying about you too is that he said that you could play that role in that six-man role, and he kind of compared you to what Morris Peterson did back when the Flintstones were here. When you hear that and you hear that comparison to that kind of role, how does that make you feel, and how do you feel like you could live up to that?
It made me feel special. I mean, for me to get the comparison of Morris Pearson, that's very special. I mean, but I always try to be myself. I always try to not to compare myself to nobody because I always want to be Gabe Brown when I'm out there playing. And for him to put me in that category, because we talk a lot, he told me that too. So for him to put me in that category is exciting. I mean, if he believes in it, that means I believe in it too.
Thanks, Gabe.
You're welcome.
Next question is from Kelvin Buddy from Channel 10.
Hey, Gabe, how's it going?
How you doing?
obviously good. Tonight we've got the NBA draft, and obviously a couple former teammates of yours, Cash and Xavier, are projected to possibly be picked tonight. What are your thoughts for them? Have you been in contact with them? Any kind of well wishes, and I guess where do you see them kind of ending up tonight?
Yeah, I talk to Cash and X a lot. I mean, as you can see probably on the Instagram, you see that they're working hard and doing the things that they're doing. But I talk to him a lot. I talk to X a lot. Me and X stay cordial. I really don't even ask him about really basketball, because basketball is not one thing that decides everything about your future or decide your family. I ask about their family. I ask about how everything's going with their mom and dad, kids, things like that. I really want to know about that more than the basketball side, because I just want to see how they're doing outside of the NBA, outside of the COVID, outside of everything. So I've been staying in touch with them, and I hope they get drafted tonight. I'm rooting for them.
All right, thanks, Gabe.
You're welcome.
Next question up is from Chris Solari.
I hope you weren't breaking any news about Cassius having any kids.
Nah.
I kind of wanted to pick your brain a little bit more about practice. What has Coach Izzo been able to kind of watch you guys? I know he had talked about potentially kind of having a camera set up to watch from home, and how much have you guys talked to him, and what's he told you over the last few?
Yeah, he said he got the camera set up at his house where he's watching live practice, seeing what we're doing. Then after practice, every time we get into a huddle, he calls and just sees the things that he sees on the film, because he says it's a lot different than being in practice than when you're not in practice, and that's true. So he calls us and tells us like the things that we need to work on. He points out people that are messing up or doing things wrong, but he's been great on it. He really has been great on it. I know he's not liking being at home because he's a gym rat. He loves to be in the gym. So for him to do that and really point out the things that we're doing, it means that he's on the same page as everybody else.
And for you guys, I mean, is it different not hearing him yelling, or how does he try to do that from afar?
Oh yeah, you can tell the difference. You can really tell the difference with him not yelling. You can really tell. But then again, I feel like coach probably needed a little break. I mean, he's been going so hard lately where he probably needed a little break. Not saying COVID is good or anything, but he probably did need a little break. And he's talking to us every day. He's talking to me every day. He's talking to all the teammates every day. So he's doing the right things.
Time for a couple more questions. We'll go to Joe Dandrin from the State News.
Hey, Gabe, obviously, it's like Matt said, you guys playing in about a week or so. So I guess just, what makes, kind of the scheduling and everything kind of being weird this year, just hard to prepare for that first game, and also not having Izzo practice either. Just kind of how has that been difficult so far? Even with Fife and Stevens kind of stepping in, just how is that different?
Only thing I say different is just Coach is not being there. Like, I don't think I ever, like in my 3 years of basketball, I don't think I ever seen Coach is not be at practice. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because Coach DJ, Coach OG, Coach Fife, those guys, they really go off of Coach is. Like if Coach is hype, they're hype. So they're trying to pick us up by when they come in, they're hype. Now we got to be hype, and we just up, pick each other up. Like they're trying to work on things and we're trying to work on things, and they're trying to help us along the way. So it's very different for him not being in there. But for us with the first game coming up and us not knowing stuff, things like that, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, of course, there's not going to be any fans. There's not going to be family and friends in the stands. But then again, that's what you kind of want. You want your teammates to pick you up. And that's the best thing about basketball. If you got your teammates back, everything else will work out.
Go to Stephen Brooks from 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Gabe, good to see you, man. I want since you've been here, Coach Izzo always mentions that you've been a really hard worker, a guy that stays in the gym. How different or difficult maybe was that to do this year with COVID and protocols, things being shut down, people trying to stay away from each other? How were you able to get your hours in and get your work in like you would normally try to? Because that was something he said again about you this summer.
It really wasn't difficult for me, I'd say. I really just work. Like I just work out every day. Like even when the COVID hit basketball season last season, a week later, I was doing push-ups in the house, running, going on 5 mile. I think it was like 3 mile runs. I was doing the little things that's going to help me to now. Then when I went back home, I got in the gym kept on getting in the gym. I had a weight room too, so I felt like everything was working out in my favor when those things were coming along. I just really tried to find out the best idea of what I could do in order for me to play this year and keep up my health and things like that. So, I mean, I did the right things, and I hope it pay off.
So you never really had much trouble finding a gym or anything that you really needed, I guess, throughout that time?
No, I really didn't have that much trouble.
Okay. And then real quickly, if I could ask you, X and Cash probably won't say this smartly, but is there a team you'd like to see both of them go to? Maybe not together, of course, but is there a team you'd like to see Cassius play for? Is there a team or player you'd like to see X play with tonight, after going forward?
I didn't really think about that. Probably, I just really want to see him up there. I mean, that's one of the greatest experiences that you can go through in life. So for them to just even get drafted, I'm gonna be happy. That's really it.
Sure. Thanks, man.
Gabe,
Appreciate
thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Max.
We'll do this again, and we'll see everybody soon.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, Gabe.